Good afternoon and welcome back, my fellow beginner traders, to the the Trader channel. I do appreciate you guys tuning in, and it is the weekend. So normally I would do a video or something to get the week started, to kind of go over my game plan. But this video is basically because I had a request of a couple of people that wanted to see the momentum pullback, or some other, I've heard others call it the momentum scalp, buy, what is it called, buy lows, something like that. But anyway, there's a number of different kind of terms or verbiage people use for them. So what I want to do is I want to just go over, take a look at a chart. I want to cover basically how or what I look at, and then when I look to enter the stock. I'm also going to touch on some criteria that I have for what stock looks like a good opportunity. So I'm going to go over that as well. And again, so just kind of give you my idea of what I look for and what I try to accomplish within a trade. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to try to pull up the Webull. Going to come off camera, and then hopefully we'll go over everything and it makes sense for you. All right. Again, just hang in there with me. Hold on. All right. Thanks, guys, and I am back. All right, so if you can see this, all right, I do have, and I will pull up two stocks. Now, the stock here is called AKTX, all right, and so just trust me, there was some news that came out on it, all right, and so when we take a look here, this is where the news came out a little early, but the movement didn't take place until around about this time. As you can see, the volume. So again, you see this stock and it's moving, all right, and at about 1805 you see it made a reverse. Then at 1805 the volume, if you're looking at it, the volume was low before that. Then once the news came out, they started to make a move. All right, so at this point I think it was up about 10, maybe 15%, if that. Not a lot. Okay, so it's starting to make its transition upwards. Okay, so the next candle, it goes up. Okay, it's even more. Now, these are 5-minute candles. Okay, I wanted to point that out. I typically look at 5-minute candles and 1-minute candles. So when you take a look at the 5-minute candle, you see here, and you see it's a nice size candle. But then when you jump over here to the minute candle, same time, and let's see, it's 1810. Okay, so let's look for 1810 over here. All right, so 1810. All right, so it's right. Okay, so the candle is, again, it's green. Okay, so everything is green. It's a green candle right there, green candle. All right, so now if you notice here, look, there are no reds, and now these are on the 5-minute. There's no reds. Okay, this is the stock moving, and that's good. Okay, and then the volume is going higher. So here, but the volume is all green. It's going high. So that lets you. It's momentum is picking up here. Look here, then here. Okay, and this is in retrospect, but again, it's showing you the candle. The candle has nice volume. All right, so I'm going to go to the next. So let's see here. Then what I do is I jump to the 1-minute candle and see if there's a break anywhere. And the break I'm looking for is like a red candle, because those to me are buying opportunities. Okay, to jump into the stock, because again, it doesn't just run straight up. It looks like it on the 5-minute candle, but it doesn't do that. All right, so then we jump back. And let's say we went 10, and it pulled back. It pulled back here on the 1811 candle. You see it's red, all right. And then it moved up a little bit on the next candle, just a little bit. And then again, it pulled back again. Now these are the areas that me personally, I would have taken a trade and then put a loss at the end of that, right there where that blue line is. Come across here, that blue line right there. I would have put a loss there. That'd be my loss point, or in my head sometimes I just do a loss of like 5 cents or whatever. Okay, so I would have done that, and with the hopes that it was going to go up. So then it would have stagnated, and then it would have it would pull back a little bit here again, and then look what it does after that. Then it just starts moving up. Okay, it pulls back again. Okay, go up, pull back again. So all those red areas are opportunities. Those are the pullback areas, is what we call them. Okay, and again, for me, I don't typically hold it to get all this. I don't do that because first of all, I'm new and I'm not really that good at it, so I don't. What I try to do is I get in and I look to take, like I said, my 20 cents, my 25 cents, and I get out. All this here, yes, is great and fine and dandy. Once I get better, then I'll know I'll be able to do, come back in and get other positions and then ride it all the way to the top, which is what a lot of guys do that are better than me. But I'm new, so this is what I do. Okay, let me pull up another one real quick, kind of give you the same idea. Okay, PCLA. Okay, let's see here. Enter. All right, and it was on the 1455 timeline at 522. So 522. Let's see here. 522. 1455. Okay, so the 1455 timeline. All right, so let's take a look here. Scroll. Okay, I think this is it here. Yep. All right, so you see this run up. Okay, right here, and on the 5. This is the 5 minute. All right, so let's go to the 1 minute. Okay. 14. What is it? 1455. Okay, I think this is it right here. Yep, 1455. All right, so again, here we have the stock, and it's going. This is 1 minute. Again, these are 5 minute charts, and look at this. Okay, so you see this here. You start to see this running up. Okay, and then you look at it and you say, okay, the stock is moving up. It's at 1455. Then you come to the 1 minute, 1455, and you're looking at it. Okay, you know what? It really didn't pull back anytime then. It pulled back though, however, at the 3 minutes later at 1457. 1457, it pulled back. Okay, so you could have. It was an opportunity to get in and ride it up for a few points. Let's see here. 1457. You wouldn't have noticed it because 1457 is all in this candle here. Okay, but these are the 5 candles that make up this one here. So again, you would have been able to get in here, and then if you missed that, then you had another opportunity here, which is at 1459. 1459. Let's take a look. 1459. It is in this candle here. Okay, that big green candle. All right, and then topped all the way up to 672. Again, that's a nice opportunity to ride all the way up. There was no more pullback after this point here. It was straight. It pulled away. So again, these are the entries that I would get in, and then I would come out after I hit my 25 cents. Okay, so that's how I would do it. Let me take this down, and I'm going to come back with a diagram that I put together to show you. Okay, so give me a second. All right, guys, thank you. I'm back. All right, so this diagram is a simple momentum diagram, and again, this is kind of gives you an idea of, okay, the stock is shot up. Okay, it pulls back. Now this one here has 3 candles that pull back. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, and then in this case it's 4. But what you're looking at is it's pulling back. But however, you wait. What you're doing is you're waiting for the opportunity to get back in, and you want to get back in when that green is higher than the previous candle, and then you jump in down around here, and hopefully right above here, and then you would put your, like a stop, or you would watch it and say, okay, this is how many points down is that. That might be, in my case, I always go 5 cents. So if I'm watching it and it goes 5 cents, I'm selling it. Sometimes I'm hard-headed and I hold on to it and let it go down here and here and think it's going to come back, and that's a no, you can't do that. Okay, and that's what I'm working on. All right, so then you get in here and then you see it's moving up, but that's your signal. That's the pullback. Okay, because again, remember, stocks don't just shoot straight up. All right, and here's another kind of a pullback. It's where it's running up, and this is on a 1 minute chart, and it kind of dilly-dallies, go down, but it's hitting like a resistance level. It's a level where typically this is where other people have a lot of stock. If you ran a line all the way back, you would see a lot of times people have had stocks at a cheaper price, and so what they're doing is they're selling it typically right up in here. If this can break up beyond those let's say candles behind it, they're tops. If it breaks beyond it, and you see it doing this, and as soon as it do this, I would jump in. Again, you would put your stop somewhere here, okay? That wouldn't be the lowest you would want to go, all right? And then when you jump in here, hopefully it goes the way you want, and then it will start to rebound. Again, what happens is, and I want people to understand, which is what I have to teach myself, there's no guarantee that it's going to go this way, okay? It's called probability. But if you jump in and you're right, boom, you're good. If you're wrong, you only lost a few cents. Okay, that's fine. That's managing your risk. Okay, but you can't know if it's going to go up if you don't get in it. If everything looks good, take the chance, get in the stock. Okay. Now, also I want to show you some criteria that I look at, and this is what I learned from other people. To be honest, I didn't make these up myself. All right, let's see here. What's the other? All right, criteria that I look for. Okay. When I look at my screen, I look at stocks that are, as I see, up at least 10 to 20% for the day. Basically, as it says there, it shows that there's strong momentum. There's interest in, trader interest. Okay. Ideally, I'd like it to have news, some kind of FDA approval, partnership contract, something that's giving it the movement that you're looking for. Okay. That's because that's the driving force. Price of the stock I typically look at is $2 to $20. Again, as it's stated here, it's because they move quicker. If it's cheap stock, they move quick, but you don't want ultra low stocks like penny stocks. I don't deal with that. Ideally, also, I like it to have, decent volume. Now, let's say the volume is normally 100,000 a day, and now the volume is 5 times that. It's 500,000 volume. That's good because that means it's activity. People are looking at it. People are buying it. If it's 200,000 and it's 5 times that, that's 1 million shares that have already started to trade. That's what you're looking for. All right. Now, additional criteria that people use. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. But again, it's good to have. Well, I do use these too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me refrain from that. The float is some timing for me. But again, the lower the float, the faster it will move because there's less stock. All right. So that makes sense. Okay. The next one, I do pre-market. I do. I buy my stocks before 9:30. I don't buy it after 9:30 if I can, because you have big time traders. Then you have like gurus, like people that have hedge funds and the banks and all that, and they have those AI and all that other technology, and they do some funky stuff with the market, to be honest. So pre-market, you don't deal with that because they don't do pre-market stuff. All right, and let's see here. Yeah. Stocks that have weak volume and they went up only by one candle. So again, basically it makes sense. You want to see a series of strong candles. You don't want to just see one green candle and say, oh yeah, that stock's going up. No, that stock is spiking. You want to see green candles in at least 2 to 3 of them that at least is gradually moving up until a lot more interest pick it up on the scanners, and then everybody starts coming in. So again, this is my quick way of spotting these stocks, and this is the strategy that I use. Again, like I said before, by no means I'm an expert, but I think the strategy works for me because it's easy. It's not difficult, and then there are going to be days that you might not get anything like that, and so that's fine. That's a thing that I work on, or I'm working on. When things are not happening, it's quiet. I got to learn not to look for something. Now, obviously, there's more different types of trading styles, different criteria you can trade. I'm focusing on this first. Once I get this down to a science, then yes, I will start doing other trading things. I'll employ other strategies. But right now, this is all I'm doing right now. All right, listen, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I wasn't too fast. Hopefully it was simple enough where you understand it. And if you have any questions, any comments, concerns, definitely put it in the, the comment section. I'm getting used to this. But again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. And like I always say, you know what? I am not talking about it. I'm being about it. Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.